Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer the elemental energy reading for air for the month of March of 2025. Air covers the zodiac signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if you are a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or have air high up in your charts, then this reading is for you. If you've never had your charts done, or you're just looking for maybe a different view, there is a chart link in the description. It's not an affiliate or anything like that. It's just a link to a natal chart. Gives you your 12 houses, and then gives you 10 to 20 pages describing what all those little signs and symbols mean. It's the one that I usually go to because it's pretty effective for what it is. And if you're interested in any of the tools that I'm using, they're linked in the description as well. So we will start off air with your I-ching when I cast the hexagram before we got started here. I read intuitively, so we'll read the messages from the cards or from the book, and then we'll see what source brings in. These messages are timeless, so if you happen to see this after March of 25, you're still going to get something out of it. So, starting off, air, your hexagram is number 4, and I have to say when I was finished this and I was writing down the number, I was a little shocked by the title of this. This hexagram is titled Immaturity, Uncultivated Growth. So your text is Immaturity, Good Fortune. I am not one to seek out uncultivated youth, but if such a youth seeks me out, I shall at first read and explain to him omens. Yet should he ask me many times just because of his importanty, I shall not explain anything more. The omen indicates the need for the proper direction. So this is saying that March could be a month where you're the one having to be in charge. You may have just gotten a promotion into a management position, or you could end up being a teacher of some form. But March, you're gonna have these youngins that are youngins, quote unquote, that are trying your patience. They won't stop asking questions. You've answered their questions. They keep asking the same questions, and that's when you just come to a point of silence. The omen indicates the need for proper direction. I've given you the answer. If you can't figure it out, I'm going to sit here and let you ruminate on the answer until it comes true, or until it clicks for you. But this is going to be something, like, overall it's going to be a good month for you, air, but there's definitely this little bit of, you're going to have some pushback from some quote-unquote youngins coming at you. So our baseline, our foundational line here, to enlighten immature youth is advisable to apply discipline. Even fetters may be required, but to use them overmuch is harmful. And I like when they say the word fetter because that actually means tie them up. You're being given a great opportunity this month, air, to enlighten immature youth. But you have to be disciplined in your responses. You can't just get frustrated and storm off, nor do you keep repeating the same answer. Answer the question. Well, why? I just answered it. This is where you have to have that discipline to not get too frustrated, but understand that their minds are trying to process what is coming up. And when I say immature youths or youngins, I'm referring to someone you're training. I have taught a lot of people who are actually older than me. So it has nothing to do with age at this point. It's the maturity in the situation of what they're asking about. So our second line, being gentle with the immature brings good fortune. Taking a wife brings good fortune. Sons will be capable of taking over the household affairs when the strong young and the weak old are in mutual harmony. This could be applying to personal relationships when it comes to being in a relationship with your spouse, having children. And it's interesting that they focus on sons, because a lot of the times, especially where this was written, more Asian cultures, the men were the ones that did a lot of the dominant heavy lifting. That's not to say the women didn't work. Do not ever think that, because in that culture, everyone works. But sons will be capable of taking over household affairs when the strong young and the weak old are in mutual harmony. What it's really saying is the people who are coming up after you, the ones that you're training now, they will be able to start taking over more and more of the responsibility as you train them. So training them correctly and training them wisely in the beginning actually takes a load off of your plate. So it's best to do that, and doing so with gentleness but discipline. They cannot be just running rampant. And I don't care if they're 18 or if they're 65. They cannot be running rampant when you're training them. But gentle guidance and reaffirming the positive with a neutralizing the negative is the best way to process that moving forward. So our third place line, do not choose a wife who, on seeing a wealthy man, cannot contain herself. Nothing will bring advantage. Just because something looks really good doesn't mean it is going to be great. And when it says like taking a wife brings good fortune, or do not choose a wife who, on seeing a wealthy man, cannot contain herself. If you're taking somebody on as a trainee, or if you're taking something on as, I'm going to guide this, or I want to bring this into a partnership, but they're not willing to put the time and effort into the partnership because they keep getting distracted by something else, don't even bring them in the first place. That's why when you're training, you pay attention to the ones who actually are willing to advance and the ones who are actually paying attention to the chosen task at hand. Once they get that down, they're going to want to expand, but they have to get the first one down before they can move on. You got to walk before you can run, and that's what they're saying. Don't choose or bring someone into your circle who is not going to be focused on the actual end game here. And that could be within a relationship, that could be within a work situation, whatever it is. Make sure that the person you're bringing in actually wants to work towards the goal that you're bringing them in for. So our fourth place line, obstinacy and immaturity cause harm. If that person who's immature is being really stubborn and refuses to listen, you've already been there, done that, Air. You're the one who is teaching. So you're the one who has the knowledge so that you can bypass the negativity or the hiccups or the errors of their ways. And if they're just refusing to listen, this is not going to benefit anyone. But you can step back. That's where that obstinacy and immaturity cause harm. Pull back. Let them crash on their own. Explain if something comes up and your supervisor comes to you and is like, "What are you doing?" I explained 7 different times and in 18 different ways, this is why we do it this way, not that way. They chose to ignore me, and the minute my back was turned, this is what happened. You're not throwing them under the bus. You're trying to say, these are the results of their actions. It's taking accountability. I have done my part. I have trained them in this way. They didn't want to listen, and that's where the negative stuff, the harm comes in. And that could also apply if, like in a relationship, you're working towards the same goal, but your partner's like squirreling something away or overspending. There's a whole bunch of ways this stuff can play out. If they're not willing to work and pay attention and communicate with you, Air, which is your forte, then let them fall on their own head. Do not take accountability. Don't go down with them, basically. If they're wanting to fall in the mud, let them fall in the mud. You can throw them a rope later, but don't get involved if they start to crash. Step back and let them fall. Harsh, but that's what needs to happen sometimes. Your 5th place line, youthful innocence brings good fortune. The youthful innocence is happy. They want to learn. They want to expand. And those are the people you want to train this month, Air. The ones who are like, ooh, how does that work? Well, why do you do it this way? And you explain, they're like, oh, that makes sense. It's the innocence of, I've never done this before. Please show me how to do it the right way so that I can expand. And if I don't understand, are you willing to show me? Air, be willing to show them. Be willing to expand the person who's willing to grow. If they're not willing to grow, there's just times where you have to wash your hands of them and walk away. Our capstone here is, in dealing firmly with youthful immaturity, there is nothing to be gained from doing what is wrong. Advantage lies in preventing wrongdoing. Even if you train them correctly, even if you do all the right things, Air, there is a possibility that they're still going to mess up. Does that mean that they are lost? No. If they are that innocent maturity where they oopsed and they're like, I kind of did this and I messed up. If that happened, then it's willing to train them. That's where even in mistakes, there's no harm as long as they're willing to learn from those mistakes. Air, you have been granted a very, let's call it heavy burden this month, because you've got things coming in that want to learn from you, and it's up to you to guide them, but also know when to step away because they're not willing to listen anymore. So you've got an interesting challenge ahead for our Air family. With that, we'll hop into the tarot. March has about 4.5 weeks, so we'll do 4 weeks and a bonus week for you. Each week, I read a guide or a guardian, someone to guide you through the week or guard you from pleasantness, a message from source, which is some positive support or some reinforcement of some things that you needed to hear. And then we'll look at further messages from the tarot. So your first week's guide or guardian for air is the goddess Lakshmi and dendritic agate, her golden grace. Enlightenment, prosperity, goodness, and grace flow through and around me. It is through my soul dancing in soft golden honey-like energy, abundant with nourishment and healing properties. Through her gentleness, the goddess offers my soul an irresistible invitation to receive her blessings and emanate the beauty of the divine. There is a gentler way through which I make even greater spiritual progress. I joyfully and peacefully accept this path, and my heart goes free. This is saying you're setting yourself up for something big, or the universe is setting yourself up for something big. This month, Air, I'm hearing that you have actually asked for someone else to train either in your work, or you're looking for a partner who's willing to work with you, even if they happen to be a little naive to start with. So this first week is saying dance in the light of the goddess, dance in that beautiful healing light. Dendritic agate is a soul and physical body healing stone. So when you're working with that, it's saying take the time to rest, recover, find joy in everything that you do this first week, because you're starting into a week that may be a little bit intense at points, but is going to be rewarding by the end. So your message from source is the crown chakra with the unlimited self. The crown chakra is your link to the multidimensionality of your being, the seat of your soul. It gracefully connects you to the heavens. The infinity symbol of limitlessness appears within the unfolding petals and points to your most potent potential. Here you can delight in the divine strands of light that dance with us when we are aligned with spirit, purpose, and truth. Be present, flow without rigid outcomes. Find more spaces in your life, or find your own way to meditate. Explore the state of flow and be receptive to the intuitive messages that you're receiving. Air, this is a reminder that when you're training, when you're working with somebody, when you're bringing a partner on board, things may be a little intense at points. They may not see your vision the same way. That's where you have to work on training them. When you work with the crown chakra, which is this 1,000-petaled lotus, is an easy way to see it, that sits on top of your skull, and there's the flat spot. On most people's head, there's a little flat spot right at their very crown. That's the crown chakra, and that is a lotus that, as you learn and as you connect with spirit, petals open up. There's 1,000 of them, so that means there's 1,000 lessons in life. But what you're working on is, as those opening up, you're connecting stronger and stronger to God's source divine. It's also awakening deeper and deeper intuitive insights. As you go through this first week, you're dancing with the goddess Lakshmi. You're working on that healing connection with dendritic agate, because your crown chakra is going to help guide you as you go through this month. When you have those moments where you're just frustrated, take a deep breath, connect in real quick, and allow the blessings and the calmness of the god and goddess to help you figure out what's going on and how to move forward with this energy. Your message from the tarot is number 12, the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is saying, don't get stuck in rigid ideology. Don't get focused on, this is the only way to train, this is how I was trained. That doesn't work. That's a failing proposition from day one. Use the tools that you have, but sometimes you have to go at things from a different perspective. Work with the person and train or bring them into the fold in ways that may not look normal to other people. That doesn't mean you can't train them the way they need to be trained, but do so in a way that is aligned with A, your mission, and B, what it is you're wanting to teach them. Book learning for some people is really great. Otherwise, other people need to be taught on by hand. Some like the mix of both. Figure out what works for the people and do what needs to be done, even if it's outside of the norm of whatever you're working on. So your second week's guide or guardian is the goddess Saraswati and Ammonite. So a little bit of, I just lost the word, fossil work going on here. And it says, from word to world, I cultivate the creative power of my throat chakra to prioritize, speak, and live my soul truth. Through aligning with that which I truly resonate, I manifest divine light within the world. I attract and am attracted to that which uplifts, assists, and inspires me through my intentions, thoughts, and words. I shift my frequency and create a loving, healing reality for the spiritual benefit of myself and all beings. I consciously choose my attitude and my words to transform all situations into growth opportunities for my highest good. Air, this is working with the throat chakra, and really all I have to say with this one is air is the element of communication. It is the element of education and knowledge. This second week, tap into your natural gifts and skills. They will only serve you in great ways. It also is saying, remember that first week you're connecting in, you're looking at things from a different perspective, and you're dancing to the song of your soul. The second week is now share that song. See how things work out when you're tying your spirituality into other aspects of your life. Allow those to grow and allow those to expand, but you're doing so in a communicating aspect so that you are using your natural gifts, your natural charisma to actually help build and uplift the people that you are teaching, overseeing, bringing in, however that works. But the second week, you're going to be really shining as your element. So your message from Source is trust your inner sense. Sometimes it can be hard to decipher between intuition and what our mind is saying. Stories, projections, and fear can arise under the guise of intuition. To distinguish truthful inner guidance from paranoia, we must return to innocence, our purest essence. Here we have access to the truth of our own being. Honesty is more than not lying to yourself. It is also about not withholding and having a deep transparency within yourself. Learn to trust and be absolutely honest with who you are. In your heart of hearts, you hold the answers. Notice the first thought you have before you second guess yourself. Listen and honor the message. You may be working with someone or bringing someone into a partnership, and they are just like completely oblivious to what you're saying. Are they? Or are they testing to see if you know what you're talking about? Your inner knowing, your inner guidance is so invaluable when it comes to training or working with other people. Knowing how to integrate, knowing how to communicate this information is such a massive gift. And Air, this is your forte. This is where you shine. It's the communication, it's the knowledge, it's the wisdom. Out of the four elements, this is probably your strongest point. When you have water intuition coming in, that is a sister sign for you. It's something that you can work with. So tap into that energy and really bring it forward to educate and uplift those who are coming along behind you. So your message from the tarot is the Six of Chalices. You don't have to do everything alone. Sometimes being too solo in things is actually a little bit of a detriment. That's where the autumn leaves are coming in. Like, you can be alone for too long, but with a partner who is on the same page as you, you're going to be able to build upon your foundation and make something beautiful. The seeds of positivity, the seeds of growth are planted through cooperation. When we have water coming in, which is interesting because I said that with the message from Source too, we're bringing our intuition and knowledge together. We're bringing the heart, the brain into one. You're basically tying the third eye into the throat chakra. So there's this communication, there is a bond that is forming, and this could be something within yourself where you're learning to work with your emotions to help expand things better, or it could be an outside person that is coming in to assist you who is very heavy in the water world, so they are able to be a little bit more in touch with the maybe clarifying the things. Air, you're really good at communication, but sometimes you get really high-minded with your knowledge, and you'll need an interpreter, so to speak, and that's where this water energy in the second week is coming in. You've got all the knowledge, skills, and talents you need to share, but it could be that you need a filter to process it so the other person can pick it up. Your third week's guide or guardian is the goddess Pele and Lava Stone. Melt into divine desire. I drop into my heart, welcoming awareness of my deepest soul desires. I allow myself to be moved by my heart, igniting my higher purpose through sacred passion. My heart's desires carry the genius of magnetic attraction, effortlessly pulling into my world all that is needed for spiritual fulfillment. I am so deeply motivated by what moves my heart that I allow divine consciousness to flow through me unimpeded, transforming my inner vision into creative expression. I allow love to transform all. Sometimes you have to go through a period of stepping back, like the I-ching said, and let the person fall. Tough love is a real thing. If you're choosing to not listen to, if the person that you're working with or partnering with is choosing to not listen, sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let them fall flat on their face. That sounds harsh because a lot of modern society is, oh, we can't have boo-boos. You only grow through trials. You only grow and expand through hardship. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do, tapping into that heart energy, is step back. And when you're working with a goddess like Pele, you're not just dealing with a standard love and light, kiss the boo-boo goddess. She can be very harsh and very driven. She's a lava goddess. So when you really look at it from that perspective, it's saying there's times where you have to be a lot harsher. There are times where that tough love comes in. It doesn't mean that you have to hate the person, because you don't. You're doing this because you actually want to see them growth. You see, Air, the potential in the person or the people around you, and instead of just letting them keep flailing, you're going to tell them again, and you're going to let them fall. If you're not willing to listen to what I have to say, because I've been there, I've done that, I know what the results are going to be. You want to figure it out on your own, you're going to, and I will be here to help pick you up, but you're going to fall on your face. I will not babysit you to that extent. And that's where you're melting into the divine. And it's also saying, find what drives their passion. It's not just about letting them fall. Sometimes they're falling because this is not where they want to be. That's where you have to be compassionate. When they fall, you pick them up. Find out why they fell. If you could see what was going on, it's obvious. Explain to them why they fell. But if they fall and you're like, that was weird, what's going on? Is this not a fit for you? Like, how does this play out? That's when you can start figuring out, is this a desire for them or a desire for you? If you don't want to be the teaching instructor at whatever it is you're doing, or you don't want this type of a partnership, then it's okay to step back from that role as well. This third week is going to be an interesting week for you, Air. I'm feeling this, like, there's this aspect of the firm disciplinarian, but then there's also this aspect of, maybe this is a lesson for me and I don't need this role. So it's definitely something to think about. Now, into our message from Source for the third week. Sorry, I was a little parched there. And I like these two decks that I'm using today, the Crystal Mandala and Beyond Lemuria, because they have energy. The way they're painted, they're energetically infused as well as not just the message. So it's kind of fun. We have our message from Source is reclaim your energy. Our energy is our responsibility, and how we give it away becomes a conscious choice as we step into empowerment. It is possible to restore the fragment of self that we gave away before we came into this awareness. You have the power to own your own energy and to choose where you're directing it. If you are not at your optimal vibration, consider the core of why this could be. Detach from depleting influences. Boost your positivity. It is up to you to make this shift. Transform your life by choosing the healing and self-empowering energies. Kickstart the upward spiral to abundance and soul presence. God Source Divine wants you to know that where you're at in this moment is where you have come into a full awareness of a situation. This third week is about, not so much about them. I mean, it is to a point, but it's also about you. Are you giving your energy to a situation because you're going to force this square peg into the round hole? Or is this a call to, you know what, I'll finish training this person, but I really don't feel like this is my position. This is not a good position for me. So when you really tap into this energy, this third week is about figuring out the other person's desires and drives, but also your own. it's not just a one-way street in this third week. The first 2 weeks were about how you're presenting and how you are working with the other energy. This third week is a little self-reflection. Is this really what you want to be doing? Or is this person really the person to fit into this mold? So you've got some questions this third week to kind of sort, and that's just like with the I-ching, it talks about picking the right person to work with you is so important, and that's this third week. Are you in that right situation right now? And if not, how can you fix it? Your message from the tarot is the Five of Chalices. You got a lot of emotions coming up. The Five of Chalices is saying things may break, things may fall apart. This might not be the perfect fit for you, or the person you're training might be a failure. Or it could be the person that you've been dating thinking originally that, man, they've got all the markers, this could be a spouse. This third week, there could be a lot of truths being revealed. They're showing me the image of a band-aid being jerked off of your skin and how bad that hurts, but sometimes it's necessary to get the wound to heal, get the situation to clear up. So this third week, there's a lot of intensity here, and it's saying it's a test of your resilience, first of all, but it's also saying, is this person that you're testing, that you're working with, going to be a good fit for the situation at hand? If not, it's okay to let that go. It's okay to, let that person float away because it's not necessary. This third week, there's a lot of energy here, air. So whatever resonates for you, take that and run. But yeah, be aware the third week could be a little bit on the rough side. Your fourth week is the goddess Gaia and ocean Jasper, bringing in the energy of goodwill. I activate the spiritual power that benefits and protects all beings through mutual enhancement. The powers of goodwill, generosity, and grace are mine. I plug into the golden energy grids of grace that rise from the earth and provide all that is needed for every being to manifest their own personal destinies. I put my faith in the potency of encouragement. I hold an empowered vision for myself and others. When we step into this fourth week, air, this is where whatever happened in the third week has kind of been settled down. You know where they're going, you know where you're standing, and from here, you can build. You're doing a lot of pre-work and a lot of prep, kind of poking and prodding, seeing how they do the first 2 weeks. That third week was decision gate. How's this going to play out? How is this going to work? Fourth week, I'm getting the impression, especially with Gaia coming in, that this is the week where now you know that person was a good fit, move forward with grace and beauty. That person wasn't a good fit, release them with grace and beauty. And it could be releasing them to a different training person. It could be releasing that potential partner to maybe there's someone else better for them out there. It's just not going to work for us. There's a lot of different options here, but it's saying, now you understand why that week had to happen and why that situation had to go the way it did, and now you're ready to move forward because now you've got a new foundation and you can see the potential that is going to expand out of it. Your message from Source is the Earth Star Chakra Initiation. Quite apropos. You are standing at a gateway into the unknown with trust in your heart, ancient remembering in your soul, and inner illumination to light the way. You have access to the seat of creation, the spark of existence, and the codes that hold the blueprint of who and what you really are. This place is clear and grounded, despite moving through multidimensional realms and able to bridge worlds while functioning in physical reality. The higher you reach for the divine and the realms of spirit, the more important it is to anchor deeply to the earth. So I just want to hold these two up together because your guide or guardian is Gaia. The Earth Star actually resides beneath your feet. It is your strongest anchor point, even stronger than the root chakra, to Gaia herself. So you are being called to ground this energy into reality. What you have set up, what you have put into play in this fourth week is going to start manifesting, whether it's the training, whether it's that partnership, whether that's some form of spiritual growth that you've been working on. This fourth week, it's time to bring it from a thought, from a concept down and anchor it into reality. Gaia is here to help support you as you're moving into this. Your Earth Star Chakra is opening up, helping you realize how much more you actually already have in play and how much more is already manifested. So it's basically helping you understand and realize where you're at and how much you've already achieved. Your message from the tarot is the Seven of Wands. There's a little bit of pride and a little bit of arrogance coming up in this time, and it's the wands are fire, they're passion, which also works with air really well, and it's saying don't let the success that you're feeling go to your head. There's still work to do, but you're showing prosperity. There's lots of greens, there's reds, there's vibrancy, and there's movement within this card saying things are really going well after that third week's roughness. So don't let it go to your head. Be okay with staying humble, knowing that the people that you're working and building up, they will one day be able to take over, and you have the confidence to know that they are going to bring maybe some new ideas into the situation, but they're going to be able to take over without a worry from you. You're able to pass on the knowledge and the abilities. If it's a work situation, if it's a personal situation, you know that that person's going to step up and partner with you, and together you're going to achieve greatness. So our last week, our bonus week here for March, is the goddess Persephone and rubies. Beautiful, vibrant stones here. Inner Queen, divine wisdom empowers me to bring hidden truths to consciousness, healing shadows with the love of light. I move freely through all realms of experience, honoring each aspect of life with compassion. I hold the gentle light of penetrating awareness so that all may be awakened to divine love and receive its blessings. I am energized and motivated by the highest source of wisdom. I summon my inner dignity, grace, and wisdom, consciously choosing to live my deeper truth. As the light rises again and again, so do I again and again. This last week of March, Air, it's really about embracing your skills, embracing your talents, embrace the things that you are at your core. Allow them to shine brightly without and within. By doing so, you will naturally draw the right people to you. Persephone in some of the Greek myths is spouse to Hades, spends half the year there, half the year in the sun. So you've got this dynamic of, I can walk into the dark and figure things out, but I can also live in the light. This is a call to tapping into your heart energy with your root chakra, which is interesting. I'm getting that impression. But it's also saying, being able to understand the light and the dark, you're able to alchemize, you're able to transmute, which is a gift, a talent not many people have, to be honest with you. And it allows you to communicate your thoughts, feelings, impressions, and where your goals are with a greater ease. I'm hearing that this last week is a time where you recognize how much you've grown and what you have to offer others. It's not with ego, it's with actually grace, with dignity, with this concept of, this is what I know, this is where I am. From here, I can learn more, but I'm also willing to pass my knowledge on to others, helping them support and grow. And by my knowledge, this is you speaking, Air, by my knowledge, I might be able to help other people skip the errors that I have made, accelerating them faster and further than even I was consciously aware was possible. So your message from Source is our ancient future. An ancient remembering is emerging. Seed crystals and the knowledge that they are imbued with are becoming unearthed. Those who see a better future are not just dreaming. Their hearts and minds are hearkening to the core of earth-based traditions, bringing through knowledge that will shift the paradigms into balance. This card is imbued with activations. You are being showered with blessings in preparation for transformation. It may be turbulent at times, like the third week, but you will grow and heal through the coming journey. You will navigate a situation you have no experience with by being truly present. Integrity and intuition are the best guides you have. God, Source Divine, wants you to understand there's times where you will feel like you know nothing. There are times when you feel like you are backpedaling or you are treading water, but you can't move. The reality is, you're moving, you just don't realize it because the water's moving with you. The world's moving with you. There's times where you feel like you have lost connection. What that means is You're going through a dark period and you can't see with the normal ways you normally do it. That's where stepping outside and looking at things from a different perspective actually show you you're a lot further along your path than you first thought. This 5th week, this bonus week, is saying check in with yourself. Understand that you're so much more than what you thought you were. You still have a lot to go. We all do. But you're a lot further along than you realized. Your message from the tarot is number 13, death. Death means that it's a time to end a situation. It is time to end the negative self-talk. It is time to end the I just don't know how I'm going to do this attitude. The message from Source is saying you have the integrity and the intuition. You're working with your own energy of air, but you're also partnering with the sister of water, and that's allowing you to combine the heart and the brain, of going into a much more balanced state. The death is indicating here that it's an end to an old cycle, which also means there's a new cycle coming in for you, air. But it's time to let the past go. It's time to remember the future properly, and that is to remember the future where you grow, where you expand, where you feel the love of life and you share that with others. With that, we'll wrap up this reading. Air, have a great month of March. I will see you guys in the next video. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and comment. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. As long as we're respectful, that's all we can really ask for. I will see you guys later.